I would say that it really depends whether you're competing or not competing. So in general, grandmasters probably compete maybe about half the year, say 6, 7, or 8 months. The other 4 months you're not generally competing. So during the competitions, it's all intensive. Usually you study before the game, you play the game, and then you study again after the game, and you do this for about 2 weeks. Normally that's the length of a competition, so it's very, very intense. When I'm not competing, I would say that for the most part, I look at a little bit of chess, but I try to look at other things. Like, I live stream, I play tennis, follow the stock market, things of this nature. So it's quite a difference, but I would say most grandmasters, when they're not competing, they try to take a little bit of a break and not look at chess. Yeah, so definitely I think I prefer making content over terms. Simply, it's a lot less stressful and frankly more enjoyable. I think that whenever you are a professional in a field where it's competitive, if you don't perform, generally it's going to feel like a disappointment or a failure. And with content creation, there always are fans who are going to cheer you on pretty much no matter what. And so it definitely makes it a lot easier. And when you combine that with the fact that you get to have fun, express yourself in a way that you can't do with chess, that just makes it more enjoyable for me. Yeah, there are a couple of moments. I think the first time was when I became a master at 10 years old, and there was some public attention on me at the time. I went on the show Regis and Kathy Lee, which, very, very, very old show in the US. But I think probably when I reached Grandmaster at 15 years old, that was the first time that I thought maybe I was onto something, maybe it could become a profession. It never really dawned on me that I would make it as a professional, though, until about 2008 or 2009 when I broke in the top 10 in the world. And then when I started playing against a lot of the top players, like Anand and some of the other world champions, that's when it became clear that it was something special. Yeah, so that's it's hard for me to answer because actually the era that I grew up in, social media was not a thing, so it's quite different. I think actually if there's one piece of advice that I would give to some of these kids or to their parents actually is to try and avoid social media as much as they can, simply because everything gets blown out of proportion. I think there was this kid from Argentina who's 10 years old, and when you have people saying you're going to be the Messi of chess, or when he wins some game against Magnus in a random blitz game, the media goes crazy, and I think that added pressure is not a good thing. So the main thing I think would be to avoid the social media pressure. As far as juniors, I think the clear favorite right now is this Turkish kid, Yegiz Khan Erdogmas, who represents Turkey. I think he's probably the strongest junior player in the world right now. He's a player that I've played some, and I think the future is very, very bright for him. Yeah, I think at a professional level, ego, you have to have a lot of ego. If you don't have a lot of ego, it's very hard to get to the top, no matter how many games you lose. And then when you do actually lose, being determined to go back, study the games, and just believing that, it's one game, but you can always do better. And if you don't have that ego, I don't think you can be a top player. So all the top players have that issue. Yeah, so I think it's very frustrating whether you're playing against a bot or against a human, and you have these instant moves. I think the thing is, it's very unsettling because you feel like people or these computer bots, they should always think for a few seconds, and then when you see these instant moves, it's very, very difficult. Actually, I would say there are times people make a lot of quick moves, and it's very annoying. So you kind of have to use that against them, and then use a little bit more time to try and find the most precise moves. And then as far as pre-moves go, I think that with online chess, it's necessary. If you want to be anywhere near the best, you have to be able to anticipate moves and sort of do pre-moves, but also what I would call, it's you take a piece and you wait over a square in anticipation. That's also probably very, very critical in terms of saving time on critical moves. So I think it's very, very important. It's an essential part of online chess. Yeah, so I think with Casablanca chess, the variant is very interesting. Playing historical games definitely is something that's a lot of fun. Also because since most of us have studied so many games, we don't generally remember exactly how the games went. So having to just play a game from a certain move in the middle, it makes it a lot of fun. I've had a great time so far, and hopefully we have a few more great games today. Yeah, so it's been great to be in Morocco. I would say that right now the chess level it's a little bit lower than perhaps in other parts of the world, but I think that actually applies to pretty much most of the African continent, with the exception of Egypt. So, if anything, I think what really needs to happen is hopefully you just try to get the kids interested in chess. Hopefully, some of them take it up, and one or two of them can become grandmaster or better. And I think that really is what could start a whole new generation of strong chess players in this part of the world.